Welcome to the Ill Informers. I'm Elyott Ryan. I'm here with Darren Miller and Nash Park.
Hello, Nash.
Hey,
playing.
play something else.
He's got a rain stick there. Of course he does.
What a great instrument.
I don't know how this works, but
an ocarina.
Is that what that is for real?
It gets quieter every time you play.
That's
that
almost.
racist.
I just want to hear the harmonica with your. Like nobody knows the trouble I've seen. That's my favorite harmonica tune.
Nobody likes the guy with the harmonica.
Yeah, I hate Bob Dylan. Turn that off.
You know why it's bad? Harmonicas are bad because people can keep them in their pocket and then just pull them out.
Mm-hmm. Play them at a bus station, in a jail cell.
And then you inhale lint.
In a train cart.
In a car with a stranger.
But it is impressive when someone is very good at, like the guy from Blues Traveler has his bandolier full of his different harmonicas. Like one person with one harmonica is terribly annoying, and the guy from Blues Traveler is awesome because he's very good at it.
Yeah, do you need 12? It's mostly going to be in G, and if it's not, don't bother.
You probably got some in there that are special notes, sharps or flats.
Mm-hmm.
One that sounds like maybe a guitar. I'm not sure how that works, but
Darren, you were looking for a video. What video were you looking for?
What? So there's some.
You already forgot?
I did. I haven't written down, but I had. So I was just saying, I was like, how long will you look for a video? Like when you get it in your head, you're like, oh, that video or that song that I heard 20 years ago. And you're like, how long will you look for it? Nash, you said.
I won't stop.
Until you find it.
Yeah. My wife's always
don't
like,
don't stop.
Yeah. My wife's like, it's a sign. We should just give up. And I'm like, nope, it's a sign to try even harder.
Is the video ever satisfying that when you find it?
Oh.
They're always worse than you remember.
They're never as good as you remember, but it's better finding it and being disappointed than not finding it and being torn apart by not being able to fill that
the worst
OCD
part
itch.
The worst part is when you're with a group of people and everybody's showing videos and you're like, oh, I got a video. And then you take 20 minutes to find it. You're like, I found it. And then you play it. And then
it's like, no.
We're on to different videos now and it doesn't work.
That wasn't it.
Okay, I'm looking for a video.
We're playing the harmonica now, Nash.
They've moved on. Wait, listen to my video. Maybe Nash you'll know right away what I'm talking about. A band, hipster kind of band.
Why would you say that? Why would you say hipster band and then point at me?
Well, because you're the only one who is bringing out your harmonica and your.
I think I've got a slide whistle. That's why I'm looking. I have a slide whistle in here. Which I think would be great for comedic value.
Yeah,
this is a 1940s radio show.
The difference between this podcast taking off and being mediocre is just a slide whistle away. Whoop.
Yeah, I lost the slide whistle. What does that mean? What does that say about me?
You obviously would. How do you rate your instruments? The slide
whistle. I'm so mad right now because what also applies to YouTube videos also applies to slide whistles because now I want to know where it is and I have to sit here now.
Well,
I don't know why I would take the slide whistle out of this room. I don't know why I have it in the room.
Are you OCD? Because you seem OCD right now.
Maybe that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just a man of my word. Maybe I'm a man of my word.
Is your word attached to finding a slide whistle? I don't think so.
I guess so. What video were you looking for, Darren?
I want one. It's some guys in a room. It's like a scary video. The music is great, but they're at like an evangelical thing. They're playing with snakes and they're speaking in tongues and falling down and it's kind of old-fashioned bandy. They play a banjo. There's maybe a mandolin in there. It's very upbeat, but it's very dark. video. And now, as soon as we're done this podcast, I'm going to spend the rest of my Sunday looking for it. I don't remember the band. I don't
So-
remember
so-
the name
sorry,
of the song.
it's a Gothic church thing.
No, it's like an Appalachian, like hillbilly church.
Is there banjo in the song?
It had the feel of a song that would have banjo in it.
You gotta give me more.
I don't know if there's actually banjo.
Appalachia.
Yeah, that's right.
There's-
Probably played a
there's moon-
dobro, slide dobro in it. So yeah,
All right.
We're all drunk on moonshine. Do you get it?
that's exactly the sort of thing it was. And playing with
Playing a
snakes
jug.
too, right? Playing with cobras and yeah,
Are
washboard.
you guys afraid of snakes?
No,
No.
I had a friend who was afraid of snakes.
I'm not a pussy. Like I would like fucking, you know, I'd fuck up a snake. I'm not afraid of a snake.
you would beat up.
I'd
I
beat
would-
up a snake. If a snake looked at me weird, I would fucking crush it.
I would
Even if
like
it's
to
a garden snake.
That would be a great, instead of boxing people, Elyott, out in Langford, you should actually match yourself against different reptiles and see how well you're. This Saturday, Elyott Ryan versus Komodo Dragon.
We'll start with a little gecko. Well, you're boxing people in Langford?
Once I did that.
Yeah.
This
It
hasn't.
was in a boxing tournament we've talked about before.
No, we've never talked about this.
I
No.
boxed in a boxing tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just breeze
I
over
do
that. That's not
boxing.
interesting at all. Fine. Let's get back to talking about hypothetical fights with geckos. Cool. Great. Or like songs.
like
you don't
a-
have names of.
How did you do, Elyott, in the
How-
match?
How long ago was this?
He was
time
7. His
has-
dad was pit fighting him for beer money.
Time has no meaning. I was in a chicken fight. My dad strapped some some knives.
You put razors on your feet and then you
Yeah.
put you in the middle of a cockfight.
And I
Right.
started kicking some chickens. It was like 2 years ago, in Langford, at the big arena there. That's now going to vaccinate people.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how did you fare in there?
I did okay, but I was
Did
in
you
the
get
1/6. I was in the
That
160.
means he lost, just so everybody knows. That means he lost. Because if he won, he just would have said he won.
I won one of the matches. There's more than one match. You do like, one was split decision. The first one was split decision, which I should have won. But then the second one I won, and then the third one I lost.
Did you get CT? Is that why you did stop boxing, or because you?
That explains all the mood swings.
I was moody before. I'm a moody bitch. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
we
nothing
know.
to do with my brain
right.
damage.
We know because that's
No.
what your sweatpants say.
I did not get CTE. I did not even get a concussion. I've never had a concussion in my life.
That sounds
Except for
like,
those-
like
That's you.
something somebody with a concussion would say.
I can't.
That's right.
I can't.
He's gonna start
I can't
pitching his
remember-
grill soon. The Elyott Ryan grill.
I can't remember the last time I had a concussion.
Okay, so how long were you boxing before this? I didn't know
Like
you
3
boxed, and I didn't know you fought professionally.
It's
You-
I'm a
you
professional
don't-
boxer.
Yeah.
Like say a famous boxer.
Mike Tyson.
Beat him.
Yeah, wow.
George
Say
Foreman.
another one. George Foreman beat him.
Incredible.
I took his
Um,
grill.
Muhammad Ali.
Beat him.
That's why he's
Things
got
like a bee,
Parkinson's
yeah,
now
my
because he
ass.
fought Elyott Ryan.
Yeah, gave them all CTE.
I like an interesting story of Elyott Ryan was had to go into one last fight behind the old mill, an illegal fight back there with some just bunch of guys from the
Was this
from
like
the
a
forgery.
was this like a recital type situation? Like, you know, the piano teacher, all of their students have to perform at the recital, and then this boxing coach Jim was like, we're doing a recital and everybody's gonna fight.
It's
And we're gonna
so
be-
easy to win a boxing match when nobody else knows they're boxing.
He was at a recital. Poor kids playing the piano, and he just
Yeah, he's
Pow!
still split decision.
And then my coach is like, get him.
is that. Would you go back and box again?
In my weight class.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to talk. I need more information about this. So were you
You keep interrupting. Maybe if you didn't interrupt, you get more information, Nash. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe if you think before you speak and you really like engage and you pay attention, you might get some more information. You ever think about that?
Mhm.
I was boxing in the 160 weight division, and I was 130.
How did?
Whoa,
May,
that is
sorry, may I speak?
Yes.
How
you
did
may
that
say-
happen? Why did that happen? Was there nobody else in your weight class? I'm
There was
assuming.
nobody in my
he's not
weight
allowed to
class.
fight anyone under 12. So that's why they were like, no, you need to fight people your own age. I know.
Manny Pacquiao is 130, bitch. Okay, so fuck you. I have to just fight some Filipinos. Basically, there was nobody in my weight class. There's nobody in the weight class above that. There's nobody in the weight class above that. There's only people in the weight class above 160, and they only told you like they phoned us like 3 days before telling us that there was nobody in our weight class, and I've been training for like 2 years.
Why
so I'm
didn't
not
you
gonna
go
be
like? When you go like, okay, I won't fight then.
because I'm not a pussy and I wanted to fight.
Uh,
I'm ready. I was ready to fight. I was. If you train to fight, it's like I don't know. It'd be like I'm not gonna have fighting blue balls, you know. I'd rather go in there and die than
Were you
not
terrified?
ejaculate fighting styles. No.
Is that your secret move? You just
Yeah.
You know what we
People
should
want-
do in order to we should challenge another shitty podcast to a boxing match.
But are we just gonna put up Elyott because I don't want to fight?
It's like David and Goliath. Like you put up your strongest fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can fight Louis Gomez from the Legion of Skanks.
No thanks.
Like, is there like a good like?
He's like 220, Darren.
And we could do it for charity, and we could raise $20.
That's perfect.
Perfect. I will risk my brain for.
Would you
$20.
fight Morgan Cranny? Because him and Delamont have a podcast.
I would. That's no competition there.
What if Morgan had?
You
to
don't
be
think I could beat
on his
Morgan?
knees?
No, I could beat Morgan at anything. He's like, I'll punch him in his liver. He'll go down so fast.
Yeah, but that's like getting hit. Like, you know when it's really windy and like a tissue hits you.
I'll fight you, Nash. Let's go. Big words.
I feel like
Can't-
Morgan.
You can't punch me with your thighs, Nash.
Dude, but where does the power from the punch come from?
Come from all lower body? Is it just
Unlimited power.
You got those torquey thighs.
Torque. Yeah. It's all about the torque.
Did you do MMA? Was there kicking involved?
No, just boxing.
Oh.
Yeah.
But now we're
this is
now
like
we're
a
starting to train.
Floyd
kicking.
Mayweather, Conor McGregor situation where you're Floyd. And then I'm also Floyd, but much bigger.
Yeah, I fought 160 and then yeah. So I fought guys that were probably going like walking around at like 175, 180.
And how many rounds?
Just one round each. Each
Just
fight
one
was 1 round, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really quick and it's over pretty fast. I wasn't scared. You're super high adrenaline. Yeah. You're wearing a headgear.
I used to do karate and kickboxing, and I did a couple tournaments, and it was crazy. I've never been as physically. I didn't realize you could get that physically exhausted.
Mm.
Yeah.
The fights I had were a little bit longer. They were like, I think 3 rounds of like 2 minutes or something. But I couldn't believe with the adrenaline. I'd never been, even like leading up to it and all of the training, I'd never been so like out of breath and just physically drained. I couldn't believe it.
Except for when you went for a run. I think that is one of the things that you find very difficult is I've never boxed, I've never been in a fight, but I've sparred with people, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could see how, you think a 1 minute round, you do 2 or 3 of those, it's 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Why are you so tired? And then you're like, oh, because it's incredibly difficult. That's why.
Yeah, well, when you're afraid, you start to hold your breath, and it's the most labor. Like you're using so much energy so fast.
Did you? So
Not,
you did
not like this
tournaments.
podcast, that's for sure.
my legs have never burnt. Like my legs felt like they were on fire from the inside after the first fight. And I was just sitting on the bench like in agony. Your legs hurt so bad just from like the lactic acid. And like, so you're just sitting on the bench and my legs were just like on fire. And you're
Don't
like,
you have
hey,
your-
get back in there.
Don't you have your coach? Don't they massage you in between rounds?
Yeah, in amateur boxing, you have a whole coach, you have a side team, you have a hot girl with a sign that says, go Elyott. And then
That's what I thought.
you have groupies, you have
Call me
roadmen.
Elyott. I would have massaged your legs in between rounds for you.
I don't think we were friends back then, were we? I don't think you existed in my life. My life was worse without you, Nash. Where were you, man?
Did you, Nash, so you competed in, how old were you when you were fighting?
I did combination of karate and kickboxing. I think I started when I was 16, and then I did it until I was 19.
Why did you quit doing it?
I stopped because, so where I'm from,
They said his thighs were too big. They're like, you
Yeah,
can't
so
kick
like-
with those thighs.
Those thighs aren't regulation.
They measured them. They measured them like, no, it's too big.
He has to register his thighs when he moves
Those-
to a new town.
I think we consider those
Or legal weapons.
those trunks now.
there was the same moral questions of similar to the Manhattan Project. Like, do we make it? And then we have to deal with the consequences and possibly end.
The question of Oppenheimer and watching the bomb go off, and
Yeah.
equivalent to your coach staring at your thighs.
Yes.
This is
Nash. If Nash was
mankind
in,
will never be the same.
if Nash was in Iraq, when George Bush was saying that there's weapons of mass destruction, it was just Nash taking a vacation in Iran,
Nash has actually named his thighs
in Iraq.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
No, it's desert and storm. So yeah, what you didn't see is when they were tearing down that Saddam Hussein statue, I was actually on the other side, pushing it with my foot. It's an alternate. I think I got some footy on my phone. No, I stopped because I was in a small town, and then the person who
You
ran
gotta
this
find it.
particular gym, he had another gym in Smithers, which was 2 hours away. So he would commute. There was 3 classes a week. So he would commute 2 hours to teach both. And eventually, if the weather was bad, he wouldn't be able to make it. So we'd have another coach, which was fine. But I love this guy. He was from Afghanistan, I believe. I think he was from Kuwait, actually. And then he was like a world champion kickboxer. Everything you want in a martial arts teacher, like super smart and philosophizing and very fit. And he was amazing. And I loved
He
him.
fucked so well.
Why was he in Terrace? What?
Well, he lived in Smithers, so I don't know why. I think his wife.
It's the Kuwait. It's the
even-
Kuwait of BC.
It's true. The complete opposite spectrum. Yeah. So then sometimes he wouldn't make it, and when he wouldn't make it, I'd be so bummed out. And eventually, he just stopped making the commute, and the classes got more infrequent where he would be there. He had another kind of understudy that would teach it, which I also loved, but it just wasn't the same. And I'd be so excited, and then I get down, I see he wasn't there, and I'd be like, "Fuck," and I'd be so bummed.
So why have you never taken it back up then? Like here in Victoria?
He got his heart broken, Nat. He got his heart broken.
I think it's to be fully honest, if I lived in Smithers or he was there every time, I'd probably be doing that now. I was like, this is what I want to do for a living, is martial arts, and then eventually teach martial arts. And then because of that, I just lost interest.
What about Zumba? You could probably teach Zumba.
Yeah, we did. There were Zumba classes. It was great.
Yeah.
It was also part of the little, we could, it's still, they must be having a good time with the Zoom culture right now. Anyway.
Teaching martial arts is not the
Zumba?
same over the Zoom.
No, it doesn't.
You don't even have to change the name. It's just ZOOMBA. Zumba.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It must be great right now.
Zumba Zoom.
No, I stopped. And I haven't taken it back up just because it was too expensive. When I first moved here, I didn't have a lot of
Emotionally.
Emotionally too. I did do some. I did do a couple classes when I started here, and then it was just the free classes, obviously, and then looking at how much it costs monthly, I was like, I don't know if I could.
Yeah, one time. One time I paid for kickboxing. I went a few times, and then I just.
Did you pay Gary? You paid Gary to go to
I
the.
paid Gary. I paid Gary.
Yeah.
Gary's like it's, pretty reasonable. The
Who's
kickboxing
Gary?
class. Gary Barker. He's
Oh, that
famous.
helps. Okay. All right. Cool.
Well, you should know him. Everybody knows him.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just because you're from Terrace, you should learn other people. You should branch
I'm gonna write
out.
down Gary Barker.
Is that
He's
not?
like
do you not know him, Nash? You must.
You never did Ratfish. He did Ratfish a bunch. Did you never see him perform at Ratfish? He's a
I don't remember.
comedian. He's a comedian, rapper, boxer. He's older gentleman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He did that
But he
show
can-
in Langford, right? Darren, you read that one. Were you? No.
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
He
I'll Google it.
probably didn't do a show in Langford.
No.
Okay, I'll give it a goog.
I'll send you some pictures. He sent me some dick pics. I'll
Okay.
send those your way. But he's quite good. Like he was like back in the 80s. He was quite like a super martial arts
He
dude.
fought the first MMA fight in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's boxing his whole life. His brother would just beat him up, and then he'd have to box him.
Yeah.
Wow.
His older brother would be like, "Let's just box," and then he'd be like, "I don't want to box." So you just beat him up.
I would like to take some martial arts in class. There's also I can't remember
It's
the
too
name
late.
of this.
It's too late for you, Darren.
I don't. It's just for fitness. I don't actually want to hit anyone, and I definitely do not want to get hit. But I would like to just do the. I guess I could just shadow box, put this light behind me, and just. But I need to do. I just like the confidence. I think of going in and do it. But you have to go and. You can't just go do it once a month. You need to go like 3 times a week to actually get good at it, right?
Yeah. I'm finding too, as I get older, Darren, you could probably attest to this, the testosterone levels.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
just get a little calmer. Like I don't need to prove anything that physical at the moment. And I'm just a little bit more emotional, and I just don't need to, trying to not let the ego get in the way.
Knitting has really appealed to me in the last
I
couple
cried
months.
last night reading Neil Armstrong's Wikipedia. That's where I'm at. So as far as like proving
Mine's
myself,
going up.
Yeah, we can
Mine's
tell.
going up. Yeah, I came working on a monster truck last night.
Yeah,
I was changing oil, and I was like, ugh.
Elyott is injecting horse testosterone directly into his ass.
It's the best place to put it.
In the butthole or like in the cheek?
Oh no,
In the butt.
just in the butthole with a syringe with no needle on it. Just
Right.
It's the best way to get medicine.
all suppository. He's like, aspirin, I got a headache. Don't care. That's not a suppository, Elyott. I don't care. My ass will eat it.
My ass will eat it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't want to fight because I would just never fight anyone. But I just feel like it looks like fun to go in and spar. I took a keto for a couple of years and I enjoyed that. People have told me that's a pussy martial art, but I quite like just the philosophy of it, and it was closer to dancing maybe than martial arts. I don't know. Maybe I should just take salsa classes.
Zumba.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I going into boxing, I would never fight anybody. Like, I'm not going to fight somebody on the street.
No.
It's so dumb. I'm going to use my boxing to defend myself and back away and run away.
Yeah.
That's all my boxing is for. I'm going to hit you so hard once that you stumble while your nose is broken, and then I can get away. That's all I want. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to go down on the ground, because almost all fights, they just drag you to the ground, and whoever's heavier wins.
That's where you're gonna have trouble fighting Morgan Cranny. I think that would be Morgan's.
Dude, it's no. Don't
He
even bring it up.
he has some butterbean energy. He would just walk up and just.
What if we gave? I think Elyott has a chance if we gave him a sling.
That would work just exactly. Yeah.
Sling in some marbles. I'll throw some marbles down, and
You get 3 marbles. Oh, you're not going to use the marbles.
no.
In
That's
the
a good
sling,
move.
yeah.
Use some of the marbles on the ground
To trip him up.
to trip them up, throw them off balance, and then the rest for the sling. Okay. Good for you. Good for
You
you.
guys are underestimating how fast I am when I'm punching. Like speed does apply. You don't like.
It doesn't, Ellie. It doesn't matter how fast the napkin hits you in the face.
You're
He's
so wrong. You're so wrong. You've
Yeah.
never been more wrong in your life. But it's okay. Some of
This
us
picture
don't know
this is Morgan's defense.
Except it's like lower.
That's right.
I had something interesting happen to me this week
Mm-hmm.
that stirred a bit of an internal crisis. At the cafe I work at, Danny Pudi, the actor who played Abed,
Oh yeah.
came in and I made him a cappuccino.
And how was he? Did you go? Did you do the
No, I
handshake
didn't.
with him?
No, he was clearly having some sort of Hollywood phone call. He was on FaceTime and he was like pacing around. And
Is he here? He must be in a Hallmark movie. That's what's going on.
I looked on his Wikipedia. It says he's currently filming something, so I guess that's in town,
Yeah.
or he's been blackmailed and is here for.
Sex with someone.
Yes. But was it the part that I was having trouble?
It's one of those two. It's one of those two. We don't know.
I wasn't sure if it was him, and then he put his name as Daniel. So on the screen it says Daniel. I'm like, that kind of looks like Danny Pudi from Community.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like looking him up on Wikipedia, he had his mask on, and then he kind of took it off, and I was like, is this him? And then I was like, I think this is him. As I'm not making him his latte. I'm like, I think this is him. Either this is him or I'm a racist or both. But so I needed to hear him if it was him or not. So I turned off the music and then I was like, Daniel. And then he's like, he had his mask off and he's like, thank you. And I was like, that's him.
That would have been hilarious if you said Abed.
I know it was.
Because I'm sure he loves that.
I was so excited. And then I wanted to say something because I quite like everything he's ever done. And I'm not just saying that just because it was, when people meet a celebrity, you're like, I'm a big fan. Ron Howard, and and nobody knows who Ron Howard is.
Who?
Exactly. He was in Good Times.
Happy Days.
Happy Days. Yeah.
Green Acres. He was the young lad. And,
so I wanted to say like, hey, I'm a big fan, but I didn't because in my brain, I'm always like, if I ever see somebody I really admire, I'm not going to bother them.
Mm-hmm.
That will be my gift to them. But I really wanted to say something. And then but I didn't. And I didn't want to like make a scene because you don't want to cause a frenzy. I could feel the frenzy in myself, which is so bizarre.
Were you fanboying out? Were you starting?
I was excited. I was like, oh, it's fucking him. It's fucking him. Like I clapped when he left.
You stood up.
I was like, that was him. That was totally him. And then they're like, was it? I'm like, 100%. But the problem is, it's like, at what point is that interaction entirely for me? If I say, hey, I just want you to know I'm a really big fan. He just wants a fucking coffee. And here I am like giving him this huge thing being like, hey, at what point is it just about me, about him validating me?
Yeah. Well, I think some of it is like, you want to let him know, like, I know who you are. I don't know what else he's done besides Community, probably some shitty D movies, independent bullshit, but
great. Now he'll never come on, Darren. Thanks.
he's great in just saying something like that.
He's in town,
not being
Darren.
wild about it is going like, you say like, hey, I really like your work, or like, I really enjoyed you on Community. Thanks. Have a good day. There's nothing wrong with that.
We're doing Windows
fine.
service.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I did see what's his name? The guy from Shaun of the Dead, the older gentleman.
Christopher Plummer?
No.
Is he in that? No.
The guy
Boris
from
Karloff.
Nick Frost?
No,
the
older
other guy,
gentleman.
the red-haired dude.
No, he's older.
Oh, from Underworld.
Yes.
From About Time.
I'm a great fan. I'm a big fan of his. I know his name. I'm really bad with names, but I saw him. We were at the airport and we were having coffee, just Tim Hortons, and he was in the table like behind us, and we were like so excited that it was him because Shaun of the Dead's one of my favorite movies, and then we were just like discussing whether we should go talk to him, and I'm like, no, just don't talk to him. Just let him be in the airport. Airport's different, I feel like. Airport, you guys like, it's shitty in the airport. You run into people like Darren working security. And
I have accosted so many famous people inappropriately in my previous job.
what would you do? What's the worst one, most egregious one you've
The
done?
worst one was David Sedaris, for sure. And so you go ahead, Nash. Do you know who David Sedaris is?
I gotta Google it. I'm better with
Okay.
names.
Do you know Amy Sedaris? You know Amy Sedaris, of course.
Sorry, what was the name?
David Sedaris. He's like a writer, and his sister does voices on BoJack Horseman, and she's got an awesome show called Strangers with Candy.
Okay.
So funny. And
Yeah.
he's like, I looked at his boarding card. I didn't know what he looked like because he's a writer, obviously. And then looked at him, and I went, I love your stuff. And he went, great, thanks. And he took his ticket and walked past me. And I was like, I can't leave it like that. That's terrible. So I yelled at him. I said, I buy your books for people for their birthdays and Christmas and stuff. And he didn't turn around, and he put his stuff in the bin, and he left.
But that's what you're signing on for, weren't you? If I guess because he's a writer, he's not used to it. But
that's the kind of interaction I didn't want to have.
But there's an addendum to that, because he came through about a year later. He came through, and I saw him, and I was like, oh shit, there he is, because he had been doing a reading in town. And I was like, hey man, I really love your books. I just want to apologize because I was like yelled at you last night. He's like, what? He's like, I don't even remember it. Famous people don't remember any interactions with normal people. Mm-hmm. And then he was super nice, and we got a book for one of the ladies we worked with and got it signed. And he was like, couldn't have been sweeter, but he had no recollection of a horrifying, embarrassing thing that plagued me for so long.
So that's the conundrum. Like, if they don't remember, if it's not a big deal to them, but it means, because it's entirely for us, that kind of interaction. Mm-hmm. They're not getting anything out of it.
No,
they get a little bit out of it. They get a little bit out of it.
I think they used to. I bet you when it first started happening, they're like, yeah. But then you just like, I just want a fucking coffee. Just give me a coffee. Yeah. And
you probably want your anonymity back, right? There's that point where you like realize you're getting recognized. People are seeing and watching what you're doing. And then at some point, though, you're like, oh, I just want to go to Walmart and buy underwear without people or get a coffee without people being like, trying to shake my hand.
Yeah, I just want to work. Yeah. So like, and then the other thing too was I was just, it was blown away by how excited I was. Like, it made my day. I was like, this is awesome. But even I just saw this guy, and like, I was like stoked. I was like, this is a great month. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? When this made my month.
but it's pretty good. Like seeing someone who does things that you respect and like is very exciting.
Is it why?
I don't know.
That's the crisis. I was sorry, I didn't mean to be that aggressive, but that's what I was thinking. Like, why is this so? Because it's all for me. Like I was like, I gotta text people. I'm like looking who to text. I'm like, why? It's all for me. It's all for clout for me.
Mm-hmm. Be like, I talked to Abed.
I didn't know. I was like, here's your coffee. He's like, thanks. I'm like
at least you just didn't try to give him your script. Can you read this for me?
Yeah, and put Abed on the coffee. Just give him a link.
That's right.
I think it's worse if they're like eating. You don't do it when they're eating dinner. You don't do it when they're working, and you don't do it when they have family around. I think other than that, I think you're okay.
Some people are pretty nice. Like when Russell Peters came through, there's a certain awareness. Like when he came through the airport, he knew he had like an entourage of like 10 people. And he came into the airport. He went through security on his own and like was fully prepared for people. Like we talked with him for like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And he knew everyone was like, oh my God, oh, Russell Peters, hey, how's it going? And he sat with us. We shot the shit with him for a few minutes. And he's fully like, he's prepared for it, but there's some things exactly, Elyott, like they're having dinner with their family and they're probably like, get lost. But he's like, and you can also tell he loves it. He loves being recognized. Like,
yeah, it's interesting because I know like if it was me, I would love it 24/7.
Give me an IV drip of, oh, you're Nash Park?
Yeah. Just validation all the
I'm
time.
not saying it's healthier than I'm proud of that, but I know myself that I would secretly be stoked if anybody knew who I was at the
When
airport.
people do it now, like I'm so mad that we wear masks and I haven't done comedy in a while because I was getting so much recognition. People would come into my store and be like, "Kale, dude, you're," and then I was putting out kale though, so it might have just been.
So it might have just been that you had kale in your hand.
Might have just been that I had kale in my hand.
Yeah, it's so interesting that.
Hey, wash your hands, boy.
Yeah, banana. You're like calling out. They want me to sign this banana for you.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
You should sell bananas after the shows. That's funny.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. I've done that before, where I wrote chomp, chomp, chomp on a banana and then had them for
Sold
sale
it?
at the end.
Awesome.
No, I didn't actually sell them. I just gave them away, but I pretended
I
like
saw-
they were merch.
When I saw Andrew Schultz, his opener had his closing bit was about a cum rag. And
You
then,
sold-
and then he sold cum rags. He's like, I got cum rag. He like pulled out. He's like, I got cum rags after the show if anybody wants it.
I've
And I was
never.
Did
like,
you get one?
No, I was like, but then it seemed I felt betrayed.
I use tissues. Come on.
Come on,
You know, like-
reuse and recycle. I thought you were earth friendly person, Elyott. You
Not
just
with my cum.
wash that cum rag and
I'm
fold it up.
disposable when it comes to cum.
That's
Do you
probably
guys
the
use?
philosophy.
Do you
don't
guys
wanna
use
keep
cum
it.
rags? Have you guys ever used cum rags?
No.
no. You're like, I feel like, I mean, in a pinch.
I've
maybe.
used like a towel, maybe like
Yeah.
we just had a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Where we moved the passionate lovemaking from the shower to the bed,
Okay.
and you just clean up with the towel that you washed yourself with, and then you just hang
I
it
just-
back up.
I have a cup that I just
That you keep in your computer room.
yeah.
Gross. Yeah.
So this is something like
I would
think
use too many rags. I'd go through too many rags. It'd be too much laundry.
just
I fuck
can't-
so much.
He's young. That'll wear off eventually.
I don't think so. I get boners like right now the same type level of boners that I had in high school. It's never dropped off.
But you've only been out of high school for 2 months.
Mhm.
10 years. But it's I think it's because I'm so small. Like there's nowhere else for the blood to go. So it's like this is the one hangout spot.
I get that too, but it's because my dick is so small. It's a percentage.
Not very, yeah.
I like to see
It's a
a circulation chart where it just goes arms, penis, back down to the other arm, just flows through. Just pumping it down to the dong.
No, my penis is fine. I've always described it. It's just fine.
Yeah. It's adequate.
Yeah, it's totally fine. No,
Yeah.
not even adequate. That implies some sort of quota to be filled. It's just fine.
It's if it's filled, it's fine.
But back to that, to thinking about that celebrity thing real quickly. I'm trying to think of if it was somebody I really admired, I would do it. I would break that. Like if it was Conan O'Brien, I would have totally made a moment.
No,
I think
Sorry, go ahead, Elyott.
I think it's the opposite. The more I
Mhm.
revere them, the less likely I am going to talk to them. I'm too scared.
I totally have that because I would find that people who come to the airport or people, I remember going to see a Brother Ali concert and I love Brother Ali. I was like, he's amazing. And I had a CD.
I don't know who that is.
It's like a rapper out of Milwaukee. And at that time I was going through a moment where I was like, oh, it's amazing. And I went and saw a show. He played whatever underneath in town. And I couldn't go up and get the CD signed. My friend had to go do it. I was like, I can't talk to him. I can't do it. And my friend's like, you're a fucking sissy. I'll go do it. And he got the CD signed. I was like, oh, it's like, I just knew I would be.
That makes me so sad when it's like something that, like you love so much, but then you're like too scared to like get that moment.
Well, you just don't want, you just like, I'm going to offer you, what's maybe that thing, like, I'm going to offer you nothing. I'm going to disappoint you. There's nothing's going to, you're not going to friend me on Facebook. You're not going to give me your email address. Like nothing's going to happen. So I can't, you're going to walk away. You're going to have an interaction with me. You're going to be like, that guy's an idiot. But whereas I
No.
would talk to people at the airport, I didn't care if they were like, it's fucking prime ministers or musicians who I didn't care about. I'm like some country musician who filled the stadium the night before, and you're like, how'd the show go? What happened? Did you have fun? Did you whale watching anything in Victoria? I don't. But if it's someone that I'd like really like and enjoy and respect their work,
I buy all your books for my friends.
yeah, I make a complete cunt of myself.
I can read. Reading up, boy, I can read. Yeah. Who else have you seen? I didn't even think
I've
about
seen
that.
Russell Brand. I mean, yeah, Russell Brand.
He wasn't asking you, Elyott.
That's true, but I'll take Russell Brand. Where did you see him?
I was looking at the airport. No, I'm just kidding. I was in England, and I was in the castle there.
You saw him at the O2 Stadium. He was doing a show.
No, I was doing a castle tour, and then he just came. Like we just entered the castle, and then like 10 minutes later, he showed up and behind us.
Russell
He was on,
Brand,
like,
I'm with you. Hello.
hello.
Did he have
Good
an
day, mate.
entourage? G'day, mate. Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Isn't this castle most peculiar?
I think he was there with his mom, and then the guide.
I feel like in England,
Buddy.
you can have your anonymity more than like in North America. North America feels so gross and just kind of, whereas I think in England, you could be like Russell Brand level celebrity and still just go to the pub and have fish and chips and hang out.
No, people are going up to him and asking for autographs. I think it'd be better here.
Oh.
But he's an intimidating figure. Like, he was so tall, and like he had like a glow or aura around him. Like, I've never met somebody that like just like had so much presence. It was really weird.
Complete charisma. Totally.
Yeah.
That's
He
what I
was
want.
looking the other direction, and you felt like you were looking into his eyes. It was weird.
I always wanted to see like all those cult documentaries, like all these gurus all like the people you like in the documentary that you get to like, are always like, he had this insane presence. He'd walk in a room, he'd speak, he just had something. I want to feel that, because
that's what even talking to people who are like, someone was saying about, meeting one of the presidents, and I don't even know if it was Trump or it was Bush, someone like that. They're like someone who they're like, our politics are totally different. But they're like, you can't deny that there's something magnetic and charismatic about them. Like, there's a reason they are where they are. So even though like my politics are on the other end of the spectrum, I was still like, like they had that magnetism of personality.
there's somebody that fronts a band in town who they came into the cafe I worked at, and I couldn't.
George Bush?
I think so.
Trump, Donald Trump.
George W. But they had a presence like that, which I was taken aback by, because they weren't doing anything. They were just standing in line and ordered a coffee. But the way they were like, I was really trying to analyze what it was that, I think it was because they were kind of withholding myself. I don't know if you've met me in person. I could be rather just obnoxious and wanting everybody's attention, where they were like just kind of leaning back and like kind of acknowledging it in a way.
Can you tell us who this person is on air, or do you want to tell us off air? Just text it to me.
No, I don't think, like, I don't really know them. Like, I don't
Okay.
really listen to it'd just be weird if I don't even really know their last name or whatever.
Or what band it is, or it was just, I saw this really attractive guy came in.
And it's also just creepy that but I was like, I don't know if it was, maybe it was an attraction.
Yeah, there is something, but do you think you can fake that, Elyott? Like, is that like that kind of Russell Brand? Like, where does that come?
You can develop it. You can't fake it.
Because also the other people who have that level of charisma, there's like also people who start cults who have that kind of confidence and charisma and stuff, and then use that for evil. But they'll say like, oh yeah, they have that same kind of
Fucking other people's wives isn't evil, Darren.
Oh, right. That's right.
My
Good
question
point.
is always, if is like, how much of it I think it's a combination of you're born with a certain level of charisma, and then not only is Russell Brand charismatic and physically an anomaly, he's so big and also handsome, but also then there's also the baggage, the cultural baggage that is then attached to them, and maybe it's the way that they harness that. They just like feed it into the tank of charisma, and it's always just pushing out. Like Russell Peters, I'm sure he was like very cool and open, and that was like probably a crazy energy in the room because you can feel everybody else is like the frenzy happening, but he's also controlling it, which is making everybody feel safe and comfortable.
And that's the one thing, like Russell Brand, Russell Peters, people like that, and even the musician guy you're talking about, they have an awareness of how they're being seen too, just from probably being on stage, and so they're able to exactly guide that. But there is something very, very weird, like Zach Galifianakis came through once, and he's wearing a hat and with his kid, but he was like at the front, and he was like, don't tell anyone I'm here, who I am, because the person at the front was like, oh my God, Zach Galifianakis. And he's like, shh. And he just tried to like sneak through. But you could feel when people realize like there's a celebrity or someone like that in the room, you could feel the whole energy just crystallizes. It's just like, boop. And they must feel that all the time. And it must be so fucking annoying if you don't want it.
I've heard interviews with him where he hates fame. He was talking, one interview I saw, he was talking about how somebody was filming him in his house at his kid's birthday. Like he had got catering, like a local like neighbor to like cater it, and she was like filming him, and he's like, "Are you filming me?" And she's like, "Oh no."
Oh my gosh.
But if you hear him, like he was on, did you see him in the Comedians Cars thing with Seinfeld? Because he talks about that, and Seinfeld's kind of going like, yeah, like you're famous. People are gonna, who fucking cares? I don't like it. I don't like it. And Seinfeld's like, yeah, but you're in movies and stuff. You're a famous person. People are gonna film you, and what does it matter? Like he's like, they want to film us talking. It doesn't matter. It's like, no, it's a debate. So it just depends on your attitude. But if you're in that realm, it's like it's got to be so exhausting.
I think you got to
manage that. Yeah, totally.
If you don't want
it or go with it.
Yeah, or like figure.
I think a lot of celebrities, they'll just like stop doing movies or whatever. But it can be really bad. Like a celebrity like Britney Spears, even if she hasn't done anything in years, she's still, anything she does is top of the news. Like she does anything weird, people are still going to report it, even though she's not an A-list celebrity anymore, I guess, or she always is, I guess. But you know what I mean.
Well, did you guys watch Oprah and Meghan Markle?
No.
Yes. I watched the highlights.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I think that's going to be a level of like, but that's maybe different than just celebrity. That's like a obsessive pestering by the media. That has to be like, as they deconstruct your life and then eventually your emotional, physical, mental well-being until you collapse.
That in combination with, I just recently watched the Britney Spears documentary thing.
Oh yeah.
The thing I found was always like, if they really, I don't know if this is entirely true, and I'm not blaming any victims here, but if they really wanted to get away from it, I feel like that peak Britney Spears, I just kept thinking to myself, I'm like, why are you living in LA? If this is destroying you, like, why don't you move, like pull a Dave Chappelle, or you never see any paparazzi photos of Oprah. That's because she doesn't live like in LA and like is going out to all the restaurants and like going clubbing.
But I'm sure it's addictive. It's probably like a drug, you know? It's like a lot of people do drugs even though they're bad for them, right? It's terrible.
And there's a come down that feels bad as well, right? But you still are like compelled to go to Nobu or wherever. And because I have heard that about LA as well. People saying like, oh, if you're getting like they hang outside of a couple of clubs and a handful of restaurants. And if you just don't go to those places, then you're fine. So like,
it's this weird.
If you're at Britney Spears level, I would say that's probably not correct.
But you could just like Harrison Ford it and just buy a ranch in fucking Montana and just be like, peace out, I'm done, and live out there and just learn to fly a Cessna or something and wrangle buffalo or whatever.
Yeah,
but I think Britney Spears is on a different level. Like if we're talking about Britney Spears, she was at a level almost nobody else has had. Like,
it's very few
people.
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
like there's people are so obsessed they want to know everything she's doing ever.
Yeah,
What the Kardashians do is they hire their own paparazzi, and they go, "Hey, you're a paparazzi. We're gonna pay you. This is when you show up.
Really?
Like, not pay you, but like, we'll give you the inside scoop.
Right. We'll tip you where we're gonna be.
But you don't show up whenever we don't want you. You show up when we want you, but you don't show up when we don't want you. And we'll always tell you where we're gonna be."
Yeah, it's a way of controlling it a bit as opposed to, and also giving them
right.
information too. So it's like, so it keeps them fed. So they're not.
Yeah.
I had something to
So it's
say.
like, yeah.
I forgot. I had something interesting to add, but or what I thought was interesting.
What?
I hate.
forgot.
Right.
I don't like getting photos of me, like even like taking selfies or my dad taking photos like at a family function. You know, when your dad takes photos of you and you're like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
I can't imagine like people like 20 paparazzis taking photos of you.
And also you just know like a lot of them are going to be like just wrong angle, and you're making that face and stuff. Like, it is funny when they pick a photo, whoever they were trying to bag on someone, and it was like on an Us Weekly, you just see it in the grocery store, and you're like, oh, this is the person we're going to shit on this week, so let's get the most horrible photo of him, is like picking his nose in the side of a taxi cab, and you're like, that's not, you have a perfectly fine photo of him, but you're like, no, we want to tear him down. This is the photo.
Ex-Prime Minister Stephen Harper would not eat in public because of that.
Oh yeah, smart guy.
Yeah.
And great solid political ideas. I don't know, I just know people hate him.
I love everything he did.
That's right. I think there's something
I couldn't tell you one. Wait, I can't tell you one thing Stephen Harper did.
No, I don't know anything about him other than he was our prime minister and he had Lego hair.
I didn't like him. I felt bad. Like he felt weird. It was like having like a
robot,
or like a a youth pastor as the president, as the prime
I always
minister.
felt bad. One time I saw him and his band play a Beatles song, and I just felt so bad for him because he just wants to play the Beatles with the band, which is probably the most fun thing you could possibly do. But everybody's just shitting on him.
Yeah.
He's not the coolest looking guy, and he just wants to play some Beatles songs.
Yeah. They do all the Parlophone era stuff though. That's what I hate about it.
Yeah,
the Beatles.
There's a lot of great footy of him and his cover band.
That's a true thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Did he play?
Great. Now I got another
piano?
Google video to look up after this.
No, he played keyboard. Classic mistake, sitting down with no cover. I always think like, if you see somebody sitting down, you can see their legs. Like, that's a bad move.
Which one of the Beatles was he supposed to be? Which one of them played the fucking keyboard? Oh wait, none of them. They did
electronic piano. Sorry.
Okay.
You could clearly tell the vibe. Like, I always feel bad for like. Clearly, he's paying these people to play with him, and it's like clearly for him, which is fine. But I would just feel bad when everybody's kind of in on it.
Yeah.
It's like that.
And you got all these session musicians who are like, "Hey, you can make an easy $500. We're just gonna go play with fucking Stephen
Harper."
Yeah, it was just reminded him of probably all his birthday parties when he was a kid. His mom's like, "I'm making a Transformers cake. You guys got to come over. The goodie bags are insane."
Yeah, those are like Bruce Willis's band. You know,
that's totally Bruce Willis.
Plays the harmonica. Yeah, he plays the harmonica. He kills the harmonica. He's better than you, Nash, at the harmonica. Should we end the podcast on that?
Yeah.
Please don't. See, I knew harmonica would be a killer. That's why you never bring harmonica out, people, because it kills all momentum.
Oh, wah, wah, wah. Too bad you didn't have the slide whistle.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Where is it? Where could it be, Nash? Where could the slide whistle be? It could be anywhere. Maybe
Did you loan it to somebody? Did it
Danny
give
stole it.
somebody?
Danny Pudi.
Danny Pudi has it.
Oh yeah.
He broke into your house.
I want to know what he's doing in town. It's going to be a long day of internet research.
A busy Sunday.
Stephen
That's
Harper.
right.
Your kids are like, "Hey, Dad, can you come play with us?" He's like,
Yeah.
I've got 3 videos to find. It'll take me all
Yeah.
day.
Breaking out the red string. Here we go. Come on.
All to the sound. This montage is the soundtrack of Stephen Harper singing. I want to hold your hand.
I want to.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. I
Um,
want to build a pipeline. I want to build a pipeline.
I want to build a dam.
There we go. That's it.
I think it's
Sightsee.
why did you guys neither of you guys go work in the patch?
What the fuck does that mean, Darren? Is that like the store?
You saying we're
Yes.
dumb?
Yeah. No, not at all. But why?
Oh,
But why do you go out there and make money and go work at the patch, go and roughneck it on the rigs?
Me and Nash are not about making money. We're about pursuing
Art.
passion.
These soft hands?
It's like those.
Hands?
These hands are comfortable with a steam wand, not a driller thing.
Yeah, it's an ego thing. I don't want to be up island. I don't want to be some in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Making,
I don't agree with fossil fuels.
Mhm.
yeah, I'm on the fence, but I think
How can you be on the fence with fossil fuels? You're either one way or the other. There's no fence.
I think it's a difficult thing because so much stuff is made from that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't agree with it, but I'm also like, don't want to give up all the good stuff that comes from it. It's a conundrum.
Don't want a bike to work, but if someone can invent an electric car,
And I work from home, and I don't want a bike to work.
Most bikes can't handle Nash's thighs. They just like disintegrate.
Like he gets it in the axle just splits apart.
Flintstone. That's how I get around on my bike.
Oh, you've got one of those kid teaching balance bikes with no.
The scooter bikes.
Yeah.
Or,
pretty
it's going
sweet.
so fast. It's just zipping by.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
You're
Okay.
spinning. You're not propelling the bike. You're spinning the earth underneath you.
It's true. Yeah, my thighs are unstoppable.
I think that would make a great t-shirt. I'm not sure how to get the point across on that t-shirt with Nash peddling the earth, but I do like it. Quick, anyone up there who can do a GIF or a
You're just asking my mom? Is that
yeah. Mrs. Park, if you can make a GIF for her or do a Photoshop of that would be fantastic.
Oh, Nash, we should get your dad to make a commercial for us.
commercial? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
bring
yeah.
back the bowling ball costume or the basketball costume.
The basketball costume. He could play one of my thighs.
Should we end the podcast here?
Please.
Yeah, that's all right.
Thank you guys so much
Play us out.
to another episode of The Ill Informers. You can actually email us. If you have a story, you can email us at illinformers@gmail.com. If you have anything you want to talk to us, if you want to communicate with us, send us an email.
I want this podcast to be sponsored by Smart Suites. Tara Bosch is the founder of Smart Suites, and that's going to be my goal. By the end of the year, we will be sponsored by Smart Suites. Not money. I just want free Smart.
You just want free Smart Suites. That's a good goal.
I'm going to start a campaign. We're going to start tagging them in everything. And just saying we're sponsored. I'll have a strategy for the next episode.
We hope you have.
I want to get as a sponsor for this podcast, Pfizer. Pfizer, you guys have nothing but money. Just dump millions of dollars our way.
I thought they were already vaccinating 85-year-olds, Darren.
Can you get one?
Didn't you already get it?
That's what. Oh yeah, yes, that's what I've got, and it's very sore. My arm is still very sore and tired.
They just measure how much your balls have dropped. They're just like, okay,
That's what
5 inches, you got it. I want this podcast to be sponsored by GME, GameStop stock. Woo! Golden hands to the moon.
Sorry, go ahead.
To the moon. Don't sell. Hold. That's all I gotta say.
So you guys are making jokes? I'm not joking.
I'm not joking.
I'm not joking either. I would love this to be a Pfizer-centric podcast and to just get paid, whatever.
Isn't
Vaccines.
15 grand a week. Yeah.
I'm putting my heart into this, and I don't appreciate you mocking it.
And
We
Smart
want more
Tweets. You
kids
can sponsor it too.
We want all the kids to get autism. Autism rules.
They
how we
represent
get-
Elyott. Woo!
We want more programmers in this world.
We need people who can get us off fossil fuels, and that's the autistic.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
definitely end this 20 minutes before.
All right,
This is
that's good.
perfect. Bye.
Bye.